Welcome back. In today's lecture, I am going to talk about geometrical configuration and system representation. Okay. In the previous class, what we have seen that how to differentiate between some physical object and abstract object. Okay. And after that, we have defined one of the very important concept that is called state. Okay. Now, in today's lecture, we are trying to understand some more importance of the state, okay, and their related problems, okay. And I have told you that one of the way, suppose that if I want to develop or I want to study about the system, so I will take some physical system means in hardware form, and after that I will perform the experiment. After that I will change the system and again we will do the experiment, okay, or try to do the mathematical modeling or these kind of things, okay. So in this way you can see that if we are picking some object and doing the analysis of that object, so that is not a simple job, that is very costly job, okay. And due to that reason we need some kind of generalized theory, such that if I develop theory for one particular class of system, that is applicable for the large large class of the physical system, okay. So what we are going to do now, we are going to characterize the system in different way, okay. And after that, now if I am able to develop theory for just two class of system, it is possible to show that large part of the physical system is covered using that particular representation, okay. So there is no need to worry about each and every system, just you have to worry about that particular abstract representation, okay. That is the theme. So in the previous class I have taken example of at least three systems. You might have seen that first system I have taken, where I have to control the velocity of the underwater vehicle, and at that time I have something like thrust force. I am going to represent that thrust force by V T and drag force like this, okay. And it might possible I have disturbance or not a disturbance, so don't worry about that. And in this particular system you can see that what we are doing, we are trying to move our underwater vehicle with some kind of velocity, okay. And that velocity v is some kind of real number if you measure at any time, okay. So I have some kind of measuring instrument and that I am going to measure, okay. So even if velocity is changing with respect to time, that is going to generate some kind of real number, okay. So due to that reason, if your time axis is silent, at that time I can represent whole velocity using this real line, okay. So it means that here in this particular system, whatever torque that I am going to apply, also that is some kind of number, okay. So it means that in this particular system, that underwater vehicle case, whatever input I am applying, that is some kind of real number, and particularly that is mapped to another real number, okay. And that real number we are representing using some kind of line, okay. When I have considered the pendulum system, at that time you have seen that I have defined S, and S equal to L theta. L is the length of pendulum and theta is the angle with respect to vertical, okay. And after that I have defined S dot, that is L theta dot, and after that I have applied ML theta double dot, and after that what I have done, that some kind of force is acting on the system, so I am representing that force by F, and after that I have mg sine theta and k into L theta dot, that is drag force, okay. So in the previous class I have also modeled this, okay. I hope that means you can recall this kind of mathematical model. So this is force due to gravity and this is drag force, okay. And after that obviously I can again represent this system by taking theta equal to theta 1, that is called the state space representation. So today we are going to try this state means trying to understand this means a state space representation in some deeper fashion. So theta 1 dot equal to theta 2, and theta 2 dot is nothing but f by ml, and here g by l sin theta, and after that I have k by m theta dot. Okay, so and theta dot is nothing but theta 2. In this way, now you can see that in this particular representation I have two variables, theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so in order to solve this differential equation, I need the information of whole thing. Apart from that, I need the information of initial condition, because I have to solve the differential equation, and that particular initial condition we are interpreting as a state. Okay, so if you see geometrically, so geometrically now, if you not consider the time, so I have two axes, that is theta 1 and theta 2. So basically now this system is evolving in this particular plane theta 1 and theta 2. If you consider time axis also, then that is going to evolve in theta 1 and theta 2, and time is also present there. Okay, so I have to draw another axis that as a some kind of time I am assuming. Okay, so if you do not consider this, suppose that here nowhere time is explicitly present, that is just implicit. Due to that reason, people are telling that this whole system is evolving in this two-dimensional plane theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so that is represented by this. Okay, if you consider the case of rocket, in that case we have seen that I have third dimensional system. Similarly, I can now generalize this to any dimension. Okay, 4 dimension, 5 dimension and n dimension. Okay, you can see here that I have used some word that is called affine space. Okay, so what happens that I have some kind of a space. Here you can see that in this two-dimensional space, origin is fixed. Okay, I know where is my origin. Okay, it might possible in some space I have origin, but I don't know where is my origin. Okay, but their behavior is exactly like this two-dimensional real space or three-dimensional real space. Okay, and after that I have some of the way to measure the distance between 2 points. Okay, and that particular space is called Euclidean space. Okay, so I have one space where origin is fixed, and now I am talking about some other space where origin is not fixed. Okay, but it is possible to show that I will show in the next class in more depth, that how to define Euclidean space or these kind of things. But for time being, just you can assume that I have some kind of a space where origin is not fixed. Okay, but I can define the distance between 2 points, same like whatever way we are defining in our school time. Okay, so suppose that I have to define the distance from here to here. At that time we are representing theta 1 minus 0, theta 2 minus 0, a square root of that. Okay, so we will see that kind of point. Okay, so that space is called Euclidean space, but for time being, please do not worry about that. You can just interpret that always some real number comes into picture, even if we will talk about two-dimensional system, three-dimensional system or n-dimensional system. Okay, so in one dimension I have one real number, two dimension I have two real numbers, pair of two real number, and three dimension I have pair of three real number. So could you now please guess that in n dimensional how many real number I have? N dimensional system, suppose you can just guess for fourth dimension system. So fourth dimension system, are you able to convince yourself that I have 4 different pair of the real number? Anyone has confusion on this? Then please let me know. Okay, similarly I can extend this for any order system, and at that time what happens that I have x1, x2 up to xn. Okay, if that is n dimensional system. Okay, we are just talking about finite dimensional system. Okay, in this world there exists system where I cannot define the dimension precisely. Okay, that is called infinite dimensional system. Okay, I will give some example, but I am not going to cover that infinite dimensional system in this course. Okay, so now you can see that what happens that in if you see this system, there is one correspondence between point of the space and n tuples of real number. Okay, it means that if some system is evolving in two-dimensional plane, and if you pick any point, then that is nothing but two real number. If you pick some point in n dimensional number, at that time I have n tuples of number, and obviously their order is matter. Okay, so totality of number 1D space, totality of ordered pair of real number 2D space, and similarly I can define the n dimensional space. Okay, now let us come to the our main representation problem. Okay, so in this particular system, whatever underwater vehicle I have considered, now what I am going to do, I am going to, in this particular underwater vehicle, suppose for time being that I stop providing the torque. I have to stop underwater vehicle, and suppose that now water is not flowing, I still water, and I want to stop the underwater vehicle. At that time I have to remove this force. So at that time my system is just represented like this. Okay, so you can define some kind of function here, that is nothing but fv. Okay, and you can tell that okay, v that belongs to r. Okay, so similar way, if you generalize this, you can see that I have represent x dot t equal to fxt. Okay, and here x, if you are going to represent some kind of n dimensional system where no forcing function, everything is automatically autonomously evolving. In this particular problem, in case of pendulum system, what you can do, you can apply some force and after that remove that force. Okay, again that system is represented by same kind of system. And here, could you please guess what is xt? Anyone, could you please guess xt in case of the pendulum system? Akash Didkar, could you please guess? Akash, are you here?
Yes, sir.
So could you please guess what is x in case of the pendulum system? I have initially applied the force and after that I am going to remove the force. Mandeep, are you here? Gurneet Pal. Okay, whenever I am calling a name and you are not here, I am assuming you are absent. Okay, so even if you don't know, that is not a problem. Okay, but you have to give response. Arun Chaudhary, so could you please guess? Quickly, please guess.
So I think angle, sir.
Oh, x. Okay, one is angle. Something more. So, Mandeep, you have to present in class. So, in between, if means if you are giving attention somewhere else, and after that, if I will ask something and then you are telling I don't know what I am discussing, so that situation is very bad. Okay. So, what I am telling, I have pendulum system. I have removed the force. Now, I have some kind of representation. This kind of representation I have. I have already told you that this x may be any generalized number. Okay, so if I consider two-dimensional system, then I have two tuples of number. Two tuples of number means I can put numbers in some kind of column vector. Okay, similarly, if I have n dimensional system, then n tuples of number. Now what I am going to do, I am going to select this representation, that is called autonomous system. Now I am trying to guess what is x for this pendulum system. Okay, Arun, could you please now guess what is x? Is it difficult question? Arun,
Yes, sir.
is it difficult? So difficult question that representation is given, a specific representation is given, and you have to just guess x. Is it so difficult?
No, sir.
Anupam Chaudhary.
Yes, sir.
So I have x dot equal to fxt, and after that I have picked the pendulum system. Okay, theta 1 dot equal to theta 2 and theta dot equal to some function. Okay, after that I want to guess what is x. What do you think? What is x?
Sir, I think it's theta, displacement theta.
Yeah, displacement theta or something else.
F.
So if you are not getting my point, then why are you not asking? You have to ask the question. Okay, here I have told you that this xt, what actually xt corresponds to, this corresponds to the state of the system. Okay, so if I have second order system, it means that I have two numbers. So xt in case of the pendulum system, what kind of that two number, that is theta 1 and theta 2. So either you can tell theta and theta dot or theta 1 and theta 2, both are fine. So here that is the theta 1 and theta 2. Anyone has confusion now? Because if you do x dot, then theta dot and theta 2 dot, because if you have some kind of column vector, and since differential operator is linear operator, so if you differentiate here, then theta 1 and theta 2 dot comes into picture. Okay, so for pendulum system, xt is nothing but theta 1 and theta 2. Anyone has confusion on this point?
No,
Okay,
sir.
okay, now Arun, I will ask you next question. Just that is simple question. So x belongs to Rn, I have written here. So for pendulum system, what I have to write? Nth order system, I have written x belongs to Rn. Okay, means each state variable has some kind of real number. That is the interpretation. So here what I have to write for pendulum system? Don't worry, you can give wrong answer also. That is not a problem.
Sir, angle, sir. Theta belongs.
And I am asking what is n here? So n is some kind of number, 1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of number will appear?
2, sir.
So that is very simple question. 2, you are completely fine. So what I am telling, you can see why 2 is coming, because theta 1 belongs to some kind of real number and theta 2 belongs to some kind of real number. Okay, so are you able to get here something? You can see here, in order to represent the state, now I am going to use the notion of set. Okay, whatever we have learned during our school time. Okay, after that, now what I am going to do, I am going to represent the right hand side, fxt. Okay, so quickly, could you please someone tell me that what is fxt for the pendulum system if I remove the force? Okay, I will call some name. So then because Karan, Aditya, see,
Tx
Devasis, are
display
you okay?
x displacement.
Now I am asking fx. What is fx? Representation has so much difficulty. Okay, what I will do now, I will again write same kind of things in next slide, and then I will tell you. Okay, I think that is very simple, but why you are become so much confused, I do not know. Theta 1 dot equal to theta 2 and theta 2 dot equal to minus g by l. This is sine theta 1 and k by m, and this is theta 2. This is my pendulum system. Now I am going to represent this system like x dot t into fx. Okay, so first I have to identify that what is meaning of xt. So xt I have identified theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, after that, now since I have to understand that where basically xt is belong, so I can represent xt that belongs to some kind of real number. Theta 1 is real number and ordered pair of real number, that, or I can write this as a R2. Okay, two ordered pair of real number, one can write as a R2. Okay, so here you can see that Cartesian product is involved. Why Cartesian product is involved? Because order of theta 1 and theta 2 matters. If you take this point in this space, then theta 2, theta 1 and theta 1, theta 2 both are different. Okay, due to that reason, here Cartesian product symbol comes into picture. Okay, so xt I have written R2. So due to that reason, n is equal to 2. Okay, now I am asking what is fx. So first, Devasis, could you please tell me that is a scalar quantity or vector quantity fx? A scalar or vector? Devasis? Divyans? Divyans Singh? Divyans, are you here? That is a scalar or vector? I am asking about fx. Okay. So for pendulum system, that is a scalar or vector?
Sir, vector quantity?
Vector, sir.
Yeah, obviously that is vector quantity. Could you please now tell me that what fx is vector quantity, how to represent that vector, what kind of column vector that is? Okay, I am going to give hint. Is it theta 2 minus g by L sine theta 1 k by m theta 2? Am I right? Is it possible to write fx like this? Theta 2 g by L sine theta 1 minus k by m theta. Just we have to collect the term on right hand side of differential equation. Okay, anyone has confusion on this? Then please let me know. And whenever system is evolving without any forcing function, so that system is called autonomous system. And you might have learned this word or heard this word, autonomous robotics, autonomous vehicle, several. So what is meaning of autonomy there? Anyone, could you please explain? What is meaning of autonomy there? Kumkum or Kunal, could you please guess what is meaning whenever I am talking about autonomous vehicle or autonomous robotics? What is meaning of autonomy there? Kumkum, are you here? Or Kunal? You can see that several students have just means switch on their switch on their space and they are not present here. Okay. Karan, could you please tell what is meaning of autonomy? Karan Adit, are you here? Okay, I will ask to some other. Pulkit Khandelwal, Raghav Singhal, Rishabh Jain.
Yes, sir.
So Rishabh, what is meaning of autonomous? Whenever I am telling autonomous vehicle, what is meaning of autonomy? I want to understand.
Sir, a system in which it functions by itself from a single entity, like kind of something.
Whenever we are talking about autonomous or semi-autonomous, okay, semi-autonomous means sometimes some people are involved in the decision process. Okay, we are involving. Okay, sometimes autonomous means no influence of the external one. So what basically we are assuming that no input vector. Same Karthikeya has actually written exactly the same. So how basically we are doing, but we have to move in some specific way. At that time we are designing control action based on the information of a state. Okay, so a state is evolving and based on that control is evolving and we are taking the decision. Okay, so no external input is there. So what does it mean? In place of force, if you substitute some kind of function in form of a state, then again your system acts like autonomous system. Or try to understand the non-autonomous system. You can see here that similarly I can able to define the non-autonomous system. Okay, so now could you please able to differentiate between autonomous system and non-autonomous system? What extra thing comes into picture? Okay, I will ask some very simple question. Suppose I have represented some system like x dot equal to t into x square, something like this, and assume x belongs to R, means one dimensional system. Okay, this system. Okay, so now Rahul Kumar, could you please tell me that this is best? You can see the definition of autonomous system and non-autonomous system. Okay, so Rahul, could you please comment this is autonomous system or non-autonomous system? Rahul, are you here?
Yes.
Yeah, so is it autonomous system or non-autonomous system? Quickly please comment. Rahul, is it so difficult question?
Sir, I think autonomous.
You try
Hello.
to see the definition x dot equal to fxt. Okay, and here I have x dot equal to tx square. T is explicitly present here, not implicitly. Are you able to distinguish between implicit and explicit? Implicit means x, here you can see that is changing with respect to time, but t is actually hidden here. But if t directly comes into picture, then that is called explicit. Okay, so now could you please guess, Rahul, that is it autonomous system or non-autonomous system? Rahul,
Yes, sir.
now could you please guess, is it autonomous or non-autonomous, or whatever answer you have given, that is correct or incorrect? Rahul, just give me answer, yes or no.
Sir, yes, autonomous.
You can see here this is non-autonomous. Why you are telling autonomous? You can see here that in whenever I am defining non-autonomous system, where f function f right hand side, that is explicit function of t and xt, and whatever example I have constructed here, you can see that t is implicitly involved, explicitly involved. Okay, what is meaning of implicit and explicit? That here in this particular system, since I am writing x dot means dx by dt, so it means that x dot t into t and xt, so people are not writing this t, so this time is implicit and this time is explicitly appearing. Okay, and you can see this representation that x dot t f some kind of function may be anything, I don't care, and after that is explicit function of t and xt, so t and x square is present. So Rahul, now could you please guess this is non-autonomous system or autonomous system? Okay, I will ask to Raghav. Nandini Jain, could you please guess that is autonomous system or non-autonomous system?
So non-autonomous system.
Yeah, that is non-autonomous system. Okay, so now are you able to distinguish, everyone, are you able to distinguish what is difference between autonomous and non-autonomous system? In non-autonomous system, time is explicitly present. Okay, but in autonomous system, time is not explicitly present. Okay, so suppose that whenever we are doing some kind of a space mission, where you might have seen that we are at certain moment I have to fire the some second engine. Okay, at that time whenever we are designing some kind of control action, that is explicitly depending on time, so that is example of the non-autonomous system. Okay, and in that journey it is possible to show that mass is also decreasing with respect to time. Okay, so mass is changing, and due to that reason also you can interpret rocket as a non-autonomous system. Okay, third class of system, you can see that I have written force system, where forcing function is also allowed. So force system might be autonomous or non-autonomous. Okay, why I am telling autonomous and non-autonomous? Because it might possible in I have designed forcing function such a way such that in feedback loop, okay, or control loop, time is not explicitly present. So that is called the autonomous force or autonomous system. And when time is explicitly present, then we are telling that as a forced non-autonomous system. Anyone has confusion on this? So I have just three different category: autonomous system where control is not present, non-autonomous system again control is not present, but in right hand side of differential equation means f function is explicitly depending on time. Okay, and I have given you the example. Now you can see again here I am telling x belongs to Rn. It means that in this non-autonomous system, that is general, I have n number of state variable. Okay, so either you can write x belongs to R, Cartesian product R up to R, that is exactly fine. So I have n tuples of the real number. After that, now you can see that function here f. So first argument is time. Engineering system is always evolving in future direction. Due to that reason I am telling r plus means I am just talking about the positive number. Okay, and that map to Rn. Okay, so now at least you are able to understand that what is role of the set. You can see that using set I can able to tell that where a state is going to lie. Using Cartesian product I can able to tell that how basically which t is belongs to positive number and xt belongs to Rn rrr, and using function I can tell that whatever rate of change of quantity that is unique. Okay, so in this way I am going to represent the system. Anyone has confusion here? Then please let me know. So this is the representation. So whenever we are going to develop theory for any class of system, that is just fall on these three classes only: autonomous system, non-autonomous system, force system. So force system has two category: autonomous or non-autonomous, depending on the choice of you. After that, one more thing, that in order to represent this system I need the notion of set, I need the notion of the Cartesian product, I need the notion of functions. Okay, anyone has confusion, then please let me know. But whenever you are going to design the control, then you have to manipulate the state also, and for that I need the tools from the algebra. Okay, abstract algebra, linear algebra, or these kind of things. Okay, so up to here anyone has confusion? Antara, you have asked this kind of question in the previous day. Is it become clear to you now?
Yes, sir. So here the n-dimensional affine space is the same as the state space, right?
Yeah, and here what is difference? Affine, whenever we are telling, it means that origin is not fixed. Okay, origin can move, or origin is somewhere else. Okay, so origin is not, whenever we are not fixing origin, it means that that is affine, and at that space I can able to measure the distance between any 2 points. Okay, so that is Euclidean space, you can tell.
Also, sir, for the autonomous system case, can it be like the forcing function is not present from the start, or it should be like there is some forcing function and then we remove it at some point?
Actually, what happens that whatever forcing function we are designing as a function of a state. Okay, I will give you the example, then you are able to understand. In pendulum system, suppose now you have to design force F. Okay, so question is that how to design that force. Okay, so you have measurement of theta1 and theta2. Okay, angle or angular velocity. Now you can define forcing function. During previous course you might have seen that we are talking about a state feedback, okay, or PID controller. Okay, so now if you design forcing function k1 theta1 minus k2 theta1, where k1 and k2 has some specific value, and if you couple this quantity here in this particular place, so now could you please tell me that is closed loop system. Closed loop system means applying the control. That is autonomous or non-autonomous? Antara? F, I have defined k1 theta1 minus k1 theta1 minus k1 theta2. Okay, so now after keeping this here or closing the loop, people are telling, because now theta 1 and theta 2 we are measuring, so that is running inside this sensor, inside the system. So inside the system I have sensor, I have some computational block, and what I am going to do, I am taking information theta 1 and theta 2 using sensors, and after that putting that inside the some kind of computational block. Okay, that might be computer, some kind of microprocessor. So once F is decided, then is it autonomous system or non-autonomous system?
Autonomous.
Autonomous system. Okay, so basically original system is force system, and once we design some kind of feedback controller, okay, then that either fall into autonomous or non-autonomous. Okay, so I will give you example that when that become non-autonomous. Suppose now if you are going to design control like this, K1T and K2T, where K1 and K2 is explicit function of time. Okay, so now could you please tell me that this system, same system, is autonomous or non-autonomous?
Non-autonomous.
Non-autonomous. Okay, so now I hope that you are able to understand that autonomous system and non-autonomous system, whenever we are talking about some kind of autonomy, so once we decided the control, okay, and closing the loop, at that time system is either converted, force system is either converted into autonomous system or non-autonomous system based on the choice of the control action. Okay, anyone has confusion? Now Antara, I will ask you one more question. Could you please tell me, I am going to take same pendulum system. Okay, so what I am telling now, that pendulum system, I have theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so is there exist restriction on theta 1? Antara, what do you think? Suppose that pendulum is moving in vertical plane. So what maximum angle theta 1 can
0
take?
to pi.
0 to 2 pi. It means that I have restriction. Okay, so whenever we are seeing the physical system, there always exists some kind of restriction. For abstract system there is no restriction, but physical system I have restriction. It means that I have retained theta 1 belongs to R, any real number. That is not true. Okay, theta 1 should be belongs to some part of the real number, and due to that reason, at that time whenever I am representing the system, at that time I am not going to use the notion of set. What kind of notion I have to use at that time? Antara, could you please think quickly? Okay, suppose I have some kind of collection, okay, some collection of number. Out of that I have selected some interval, some part of number. Then what is the name of that? Have you heard about subset?
Yes, sir.
So at that time I have to represent system in form of subset. Okay, so at that time how basically we are changing the representation. So I am going to write here. So at that moment I have to write like this: x dot equal to fx. Now since this here, whenever I am not writing t is present here. Okay, initially I am writing x2 belongs to Rn, but now what happens, that is not belongs to Rn, that belongs to some d. Okay, d is some kind of a space. I don't know for any general system what is this. Okay, and that is actually subset of Rn. Okay, so you can see here that here subset notion also comes into picture. It means that xt contains some kind of real number, but that is not lie everywhere. That is going to come from this particular region, and this region is D. Okay, in case of pendulum system I can explicitly define that theta lie between minus pi to pi or 0 to 2 pi, and theta 2 maybe belongs to any real number. That doesn't matter. Angular velocity might be anything, that doesn't matter. Okay, so in this way notion of subset also comes into picture for our representation purpose. Anyone has confusion? And
Yes, sir.
due to that reason we are learning means from school time, you can see now everywhere we are utilizing the notion of set, subset, Cartesian product, function. So these kind of things is very much important for us if we want to study about any system, any particular system or any class of system. Okay, now quickly come to the state. Okay, so what I am going to do now, I am going to take one mechanical system. I am assuming there is no friction force here. Here Ft, either you can assume here that is just function of Ft. You most of time you are able to see that whenever people are writing force, then that is just writing function of time. Why that is writing function of time? Why? You can see that even if I design like k1 theta 1 k2 theta 2, okay, so theta 1 is changing with respect to time and they will give some kind of real number, and theta 2 also changing with respect to time, that will also give real number. So similar kind of representation, either you can write Ft, so it means that theta 1 and theta 2 is evolving, and again this whatever quantity that comes into picture, that is function of time. Anyone has confusion on this notion? Or more explicit way, people are writing that is function of x and t in order to distinguish autonomous and non-autonomous case. So I have mechanical system, I have applied this force, and once you apply the force, then this block start moving on this real line or some plane. Okay, so for that situation, I can able to design, or I am able to write the mathematical model F equal to ma, where m and a I can write d2xt by dt square, and that is Ft. So now what I am going to do, xt, I have defined dx by dt as a velocity and dv by dt equal to 1 by m into f. Okay, now suppose I want to characterize that how basically xt is evolving. Okay, so in order to understand evolution of xt, I need what kind of information I am trying to understand by solving this equation, because this is second order equation, so I can solve. Okay, so here you can see that in order to solve this Vt, I have to do integration of this whole term. Okay, and I don't know where I have started due to that reason, or I don't know that force is present, what kind of force is acting when I have started, and due to that reason lower limit should be minus infinity. Okay, even if I start at t0, but lower limit I have to put minus infinity, because I don't know that what kind of force is acting on this system due to environment or some other place, some force is acting, and due to that reason now you can see that if your starting time of experiment in t0, then I can write this integral in two parts. Writing this part is allowed because we are just cutting the zero area if you see physical interpretation. Now if you interpret this kind of quantity, so now if I interpret in place of t, if I will put t0, then it is not difficult to say that is Vt0. Anyone has confusion on this? Why I have written Vt0? Because you can see that dv by dt equal to 1 by m ft, and after that I am integrating from minus infinity to t0. Okay, so whole quantity integration is just inverse process of differentiation, you can tell, and I can able to write this kind of quantity. So if I know this quantity Vt0 initial condition means from here you can see that kind of information, that is from minus infinity to t0. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the initial condition or a state, that is some kind of variable which is carrying information from the minus infinity to that particular time t0. Okay, it meant possible that between minus infinity to t0 I don't have any kind of information, I don't have any kind of memory. At that time state variable equal to 0, initial condition of state variable equal to 0. Okay, but whenever I am telling Vt0 is 5, it means that this particular quantity is carrying information from minus infinity to t0 and their finite integral is t0. Okay, this is improper integral because minus infinity is here. Okay, now but I have to understand xt. So in order to understand xt, now what I have to do, in place of Vt I have to substitute this, and if you substitute this, then now you can see here that this kind of integral comes into picture. And again you can apply same kind of logic, because xt, in order to calculate xt, I have to do integration from minus infinity to t0. I don't know that initially object has some velocity or not. Okay, so due to that reason I have integrated from minus infinity to t0, or I don't know the reference frame. now if you put this Vt, and if you substitute Vt equal to Vt0 and T0 to T Ft, then you can see now this kind of quantity comes into picture. Please check it. Okay, so now Vt0 is given. At T0 I have definite amount of the integral Vt0, so I can write T minus T0. So in this whole system, now you can see that whenever I have block, then what kind of information is required to guess the futuristic information xt. I have to calculate, so I have to give the information of xt0, I have to give the information of Vt0. I have always some kind of clock associated with that, so this is our clock, and after that I have to know the forcing function. Okay, so since whenever we are writing mathematical model, then this forcing function is always because we are applying the force, so we know the forcing function. T0 clock always in my hand, so I know what is time. So this information just required to predict the future, and this is nothing but the state variable. Okay, anyone has confusion? Now I hope that you are able to understand the interpretation of a state variable. A state variable is nothing but some kind of minimal information. Minimal information means this for this system I just require two minimal information to predict the whole future if I know the mathematical model of this system. Okay, anyone has confusion on this interpretation? Then please let me know. Quickly, could you please tell me that what is order of this system? Antara? Second order system. Okay, so I can represent this system like x dot equal to fx, and here forcing function is also required. Due to that reason u should be present. So this is nothing but some kind of force system. Okay, force system, and where x belongs to R2, two state variable is required, that is displacement and velocity. Okay, and after that now I can, and since one control input is required, due to that reason I can write R2, and Cartesian product why I am writing, because x u and ux both are not the same, and control I just need one dimensional of control, one control input is just there. Due to that reason R1 I have written, and that map to R2. Anyone has confusion? Because x dot equal to fx u, and due to that reason I can represent like this. Okay, so now whenever you have some kind of physical system, try to represent that system like this. In this way people are able to understand that you have second order system, x, whatever x you are telling, that is real number, pair of real number, and control you have single input. Okay, so and if you see output of this system, that is xt I am assuming, so this is single input single output system. Okay, so in this way, using the knowledge of school time mathematics, I can able to represent this system, because I know set, I know subset, I know the Cartesian product, I know the function. I now using that whole combination I can able to define the abstract system, and after that we can develop theory for that system, means force system, autonomous system and non-autonomous system. Okay, so with this remark I am going to end the today's lecture. If you have any confusion, then